welcome back to At Home with Reena, where I make all the mistakes so that you don't have to. I'm excited to let you guys know I finally learned how to make rotis, also known as chapatis, Indian bread, and fluffy roti. This is a staple in all Indian families. We eat it with dal, we eat it with sabji, we eat it with yogurt, we eat it with everything. And you guys might be more familiar with naans. Naans is actually something that you find in a restaurant. Rotiyan are what we actually eat at home.
Let's start with the dough. Mix 2 cups of whole wheat atta flour with 1 cup of tepid water. Use a large mixing bowl like this that has a large flat surface. If you have a KitchenAid mixer, you can use that too. I know what you're thinking, carbs. Before you harshly judge atta flour, let's look at some of the pros. Because of the way it's ground, atta is usually stone ground. And if it's not, make sure you get stone ground version. Steel ground flour is heated up and then rolled out, killing a lot of the nutrients and minerals in the process.
If you get stone ground atta, it's high in minerals like potassium, phosphorus, magnesium, vitamins, it's high in fiber, and 2 rotis is 8 grams of protein. That's great for your muscles.
To make the dough, add a little bit of water at a time, mixing the flour and water together. You can use a wooden spoon or just use your hand like I am. Don't worry about it sticking to your hand. Eventually, as you continue, the dough will come right off. As you add the water, knead the dough with your fist. It would be easier to do this in the sink so that you can leverage your body weight to push down with. So when you make it, make sure you do it in the sink. You're going to fold the dough from the bottom to the top, putting a fist into the dough until you get a firm ball of dough. The more we knead the dough, the more we activate the gluten to help create a nice roti. You don't want to over knead the dough. If it's making a squishing sound after all the flour is incorporated and is very wet, you're going to have to add some extra atta, just a few teaspoons at a time. Trust me, or you'll be in a never-ending add water, add atta circle trying to get the right consistency. Here you can see I'm just grabbing it away from the bottom and shaping it into a ball. Now that you have your dough ready to go, put it in an airtight container and store in the refrigerator until you're ready to use it. This should make approximately 10 to 12 rotiyan, depending on the size of your rotis. If you're ready to make rotiyan right now, go ahead and leave it out.
Now that we have the most perfect dough, we need to create the most perfect atmosphere so our roti will come to fruition. I know what you're thinking. In theory, it seems very simple, but let me offer a word of caution. This is not an exact science. This is more of an art form. There are so many different variables that go into play. When to flip it, when to apply heat, when to apply less heat, when to apply pressure, when to not apply pressure. There are so many different things that go into this. Heat and timing are everything.
Let's start with making an individual roti. Let's set up our working station. You will need a floured surface to roll out the roti, a rolling pin, and a bowl filled with atta. You will also need a cast iron tawa, or a surface that can radiate heat evenly and get very hot. Yes, this is the same tawa I used to make my pizza in. It's because it radiates and retains a good amount of heat. You can use one like this, or get yourself a stove skillet and use that. Either way, you need something that's going to be able to get hot, retain heat, and radiate heat evenly. Now you need the heat to radiate about 4 inches off the surface. It shouldn't be so hot that you can't keep your hand above it, but warm enough that you can feel a good, strong heat. If it's too hot, your roti will burn and on one side and dry out before you can fluff it up. Too low of heat and you'll have a dry roti that will be heavy and will also be dry. You need to cook it evenly on each side, creating air pockets that will eventually steam up, cooking it from the inside out. Grab a golf ball size amount of dough. If your dough is sticky, go ahead and apply a little bit of olive oil to your fingertips. Then knead the dough by rolling it between the palms of your hand and then pulling it with your fingertips and then rolling it between the palm of your hands again. Then put in your bowl filled with atta and coat it evenly. Flatten the ball by pushing down in the center of it on both sides. Next, using your index finger and thumb, we're going to create a flatter disc by squeezing the dough in between our fingers. You can do this over your floured surface or over the bowl. Make sure your surface has a light dusting of flour to roll your roti out on. Take your rolling pin and give it a light dusting of atta too. Continue to roll it out until you have a desired thickness and shape. If you notice it started to stick a little bit, turn it over on the other side, sliding it across the floured surface to prevent it from sticking. Continue to roll out the roti. You can either use a fluid rolling pattern like I was doing earlier, or you can just use a single roll method into the shape you're looking for. Next, put the roti between the palm of your hands and move it back and forth, smushing the excess flour that might be on the surface into the roti. As a kid, when I saw my grandma doing this, I thought she was just being silly and amusing me. Little did I know that there was a purpose for this then. Test the heat and then throw it on the pan in one swoop, making sure that you don't have any wrinkles. Soon as you can see a change in the texture, you can flip it to the other side, or you can count to 10 quickly and then flip it. You don't want to leave it too long on the first side, otherwise you'll dry out that side too fast. You will leave it here on this side for approximately 60 seconds or until you notice small brown spots forming on the side that's down. Until that happens, I recommend you take a paper towel and push down on the edges. This will ensure that the edges get cooked all the way through, preventing any raw parts. I would say do this 2 times around. Then, around the 45-second mark, look at the roti on the other side to see if there are any brown spots. Once you see some brown spots, go ahead and flip it over. If you have dough on your fingertips, doing this should be easy. Or you can use tongs. When you flip it over, you're going to need a little bit more heat to help the roti to rise and fluff with the steam. So turn up the heat just a little bit. As you practiced, you will know how much heat to use. Use a paper towel and lightly push down in the center of the roti. You should see it to fluff up. You want to match the pressure of the bubble. Don't push it all the way down. Just lightly put pressure on it to make the bubble expand to other areas. If you notice other steam pockets are forming, put your pressure there. Continue to do that until your roti is fluffed. You might not get all parts fluffy, but as long as you get 50%, I would say that's a success. You can butter it up and put it in a container until you're ready to eat. This is best eaten immediately and warm. Warmer the better. When you go to make your next roti, turn down the heat on the stove and begin the process all over again. As you get better and better, you can roll out another roti while another roti is on the pan.
I hope this video is helpful, and I hope it puts an end to the miserable burnt flat rotis. You can't imagine how many videos I watched and how many unsuccessful attempts I had. It wasn't until a dear friend helped me. And you know what? It's a mind over matter situation. Failure just makes success taste that much better. And I hope success for you tastes like a fluffy, buttery roti. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me some comments down below. I like it when you guys like. I like it when you guys post. I like it when you guys share. But you know what I love the most? I love it when you guys love it like I love it.